So this guy told people God would double their money, and he pulled in $500 million. His name was Gerald, and he isn't some Wall Street shark. He's the pastor of a Tampa church with a divine plan for his flock. He calls it Greater Ministries International, and the pitch is simple, almost genius. You give your money to the church as a gift, a donation. But here's the hook. Gerald says God's plan is to bless you back, twofold. He calls it the Double Your Blessing program. You give $1,000, and in 17 months, God's plan returns $2,000 to you. 100% returns, guaranteed. Not by him, but by the big man upstairs. He tells these people, honest, hard-working churchgoers, that the ministry is investing in gold and diamond mines overseas. He says they're making so much money that they can afford to share the wealth. And when people ask, "Is this legal?" Gerald just smiles. He holds up the Bible and says this is God's law, and it's higher than any government agency, the SEC, the IRS. According to Gerald, they have no jurisdiction over the kingdom of God. He's literally telling people it's their duty to invest. People are looking at their crummy 401ks and tiny savings accounts, then they look at this man of God promising them double. So the first people take the plunge, a few thousand here, a few thousand there, and they wait. Then, it happens, the first checks start coming in, just like he promised. The early birds who gave their money are now getting double back. And they don't just cash the checks, they run back to church, they stand up and they testify, telling everyone how Gerald's plan is real. These people become his biggest promoters, his most powerful salespeople, and they're doing it for free. And right there, that's the spark on the gasoline. The thing explodes. It's not just a church thing anymore. It's a full-blown phenomenon. Word is spreading through the entire religious community. People are taking out second mortgages on their homes to get in on it. They're draining their kids' college funds. They're pouring their entire life savings, their retirement, everything, into Gerald's church. The ministry's phone lines are ringing off the hook 24/7. They hire whole teams of operators just to handle the flood of new money. We're talking millions of dollars a week, then tens of millions. The total climbs 100 million, 400, then 5, $500 million, all flowing into Gerald's hands. And what does a humble pastor do with $500 million meant for God's work? He builds a whole-ass empire of excess. This isn't about the ministry anymore. This is about living like a king. The money is getting absolutely torched. Gerald and his inner circle, his wife and a few other pastors, they go on a rampage. He buys a fleet of luxury cars, Mercedes, BMWs, you name it. He snags private jets to fly his friends around. They buy up radio stations just to broadcast their message and pull in even more cash. They're telling people the money is in gold mines in West Africa, but really it's just funding this insane lifestyle. Millions are getting funneled into personal bank accounts. They're buying mansions, going on $1,000 shopping sprees. It's a classic Ponzi scheme, just wrapped in a church bulletin. The new money that's flooding in is just being used to pay off the old investors. Those investors are still testifying about how great the program is. It's a house of cards, but from the inside it looks like a fortress of faith. But a monster this big can't stay hidden forever. The first crack appears. A financial planner in a small town gets a suspicious client. The client wants to pull all their money out and give it to Greater Ministries. The planner looks at the impossible promises and his alarm bells go off. He knows it's impossible, so he makes a call. A single phone call to the authorities in Florida, and that's how the ball starts rolling. Investigators get the tip. At first, they don't know what to make of it. A church, a pastor, but they start digging and tracing the money. The more they look, the more they realize this isn't some small-time church fraud. This is one of the biggest pyramid schemes in American history. They start building a case, quietly, patiently. They are watching everything. They see the jets, the cars, the millions vanishing. The clock is ticking. Now, as the feds start sniffing around, Gerald feels the heat. And what does he do? Does he run? Does he hide the money? No. He doubles down. He goes on the offensive. He gets on his radio station, stands at his pulpit, and declares war on the government. He tells his thousands of followers that this is a test of their faith, that the United States government is a satanic entity, a beast. He says the investigators are agents of the devil, sent to persecute them for their Christian beliefs. He's literally using their own money to convince them that the people trying to save their money are evil. It's twisted, and it's brilliant. His followers eat it up. They believe him. They start sending more money to help him fight the government. He hires beefy security guards, basically goons, to patrol the church grounds. He hires aggressive lawyers to bury the investigators in paperwork. He's not just a pastor anymore. He's a general, leading his army of believers into battle against a phantom enemy while picking their pockets. The battle rages for months. But the feds have the evidence. They have the bank records and the testimony. They know the whole thing is hollow. They decide it's time to act. This is the climax. One morning, federal agents descend on the Greater Ministries headquarters in Tampa. It's a full-blown raid. The doors burst open. Agents are pouring into the building. The church employees freak out. They start shredding documents as fast as they can, trying to destroy the paper trail. They're throwing files, running around in a panic. Agents are yelling, seizing computers, grabbing boxes of records, and right in the middle of this chaos, they find Gerald. It's over. The king is dethroned in his own castle, and then comes the silence. The checks stop coming. The promises are broken. The phone lines that once buzzed with excitement are now jammed with panicked, desperate calls. The aftermath is brutal. The stories start coming out. An elderly woman who gave her life savings of $200,000 now has nothing. A family that mortgaged their farm, a farm that had been in their family for 100 years, has now lost it. People who were planning their retirement, who trusted this man with everything they had, are now broke. Over 18,000 people scammed. Their faith was weaponized against them, leaving them with nothing but betrayal. The $500 million, it's gone. The trial is a media circus. The whole twisted story gets laid bare for the world to see. The fake mines, the luxury jets, the lies. And after all of it, the verdict comes down. Guilty. Guilty on all counts. Conspiracy, money laundering, fraud. In the end, the man they knew as their trusted pastor, Gerald, finally gets his real title back. He stands for his sentence as a convicted con artist. Gerald Payne, sentenced to 27 years in federal prison. There's his mugshot. The final, shocking picture of a man who promised heaven, but delivered only ruin.